creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated.
Ah! Here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Main in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Solidify! This is order. No rest for the...
Fire hazard! Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up? The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without but no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins?
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to... But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far. Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village? What do you make of it, Traveler? Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru Village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. Is she really active in Sumero? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
All right, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this invest, but easier said than done. Especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh? Who are you?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that?
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, You gotta take me with you. I wanna find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Whoa. Haven wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa.
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village took turns caring for him so he could... Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his... However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, one summer night, the oft-mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the stars again?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
Hey, Isak!
Oh, it's you guys!
We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your grandpa.
Really? Wow! Yeah!
All right. Let's ask the local residents some questions first.
Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing scholars went?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, when I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots.
Okay.
Anything else?
The scholars that have gone missing. Have you seen them?
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, but honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others are good people?
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost twin, right? He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house that day and was doing something with his hands on the ground. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Did someone teach them how to do that? Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that.
Gotcha. Thank you. Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to sit and space out near the village entrance.
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. The last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests. And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking care of him.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my place again and I'll cook a little something for the both of you. I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're family.
Wow, what a nice guy!
Okay.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Isak, let's head over there. Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will soon return to this world.
Yes, of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true ruler of this land. I've nipped still. You say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here anytime soon.
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King's civilization in ancient. Isn't it a sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as the final sacrifice for the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense. Does this mean our lives are finally going to take a turn for the better?
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where did you come from?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah! Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay?
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear and that the Scarlet King will return to this land. I'm not making this up. I swear.
Hey, go on.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good life. Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for the Scarlet King's speedy return. Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under the Scarlet King and fight for a share of the glory.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it. At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace, just as the rumors said. Please don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty.
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village. What about you, man?
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's...
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are their names.
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be able to protect you.
Yes, got it.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Join the Eremites and embrace a wonderful new life.
Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. This is where Grandpa usually stays.
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Wait, but are you okay? Are you...
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell.
So, you know Tainari?
Huh? You know him too? Are you...
Yes. Now that I concentrate...
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture you too.
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here.
Paimon doesn't see anything.
Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, there are footprints here. From the size and shape, they belong to an adult male. The scent is quite faint.
But who would come looking for Grandpa?
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with...
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent? Hey! What's wrong with liking good food?
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense. Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days.
No,
So, someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the radicals?
It's highly likely.
please, you have to save my grandpa. Grandpa's never done anything wrong. Please help him.
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let whoever took him get away with it.
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what...
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better. That'd be my choice, too.
We're back, Candace! We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Sounds like everyone's friends already.
Oh, Dia's here too!
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
I'll hate them didn't go with you?
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you.
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a kind of incense to lead the exiled scholars away from the village.
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make a profit here. Not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the patience to make or sell something that requires that kind of effort. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he mentioned.
If Paimon remembers correctly, the leader of the radicals is some guy called Delavar.
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Enger, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crook. The whole lot of them are known around these parts. These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their only chance at overthrowing the Academia. Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen to become radicals.
Tia! You're amazing!
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you has already gotten out. The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me.
Fine.
Good. Then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebot with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the mad scholars have been taken. Sino, you'll have to stay in the village and continue investigating on your own.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, here we are again.
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall even exist?
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose, keeping out people like us. Sumero is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded at their whim. We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The academia believes we're underserving. Geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate.
That's terrible.
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Dia. You're not thinking about doing anything scary, are you?
No, not at all. This place just gets me thinking, that's all. Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep, we gotta catch those.
Shh! Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. We don't want anyone to find out what we're here for. Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find someone I know. Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean, you don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a drink too?
Zaki.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello, hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it? Drinking buddy?
We've had drinks together a few times. You could say we go back a ways. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and respectful nowadays.
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall. So, Dia, are you looking for someone?
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together just a few days ago.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet these days. So, you came here to help him out?
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together?
Yes, how considerate of you. Delavar's my friend too, so of course I can take you to him. Go.
there yet?
Yep.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on. A wild stab in the dark.
Oh no! It's an ambush!
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru Village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look for the missing scholars.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake!
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are?
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have stronger bonds than you think. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the desert folk overthrowing the Academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Engar, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King do.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors. Anything else I'm missing out on?
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic. You're all like a pack of street rats.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can become my friend.
Enough talking! Get him!
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
New country.
By Royal, the fuse is lit! Midnight Phantasmagoria!
I'll take my leave.
Impossible! How could you?
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills. And of course, you would believe everything he reported. Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, that so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others. That's what you thought, right?
You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Pathetic. Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru Village?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching the...
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple...
Oh, you mean the funny names?
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Engar and Delavar alcohol has a...
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find... That's what you wanted to ask...
Wait, so...
No, he isn't.
Wow.
Ah, you're too...
So...
About
how mercenaries only care about more.
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people unless they were truly compassionate. I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. It's all the Academia's trickery. But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything wrong.
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. She's been guarding Aru Village for quite some time now.
While I'm questioning them.
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day. Right on time. We'll know any moment now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well.
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. You take us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes. Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here, to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Mercy! Please have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to shoulder.
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about the Scarlet King's Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in the Scarlet King's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called village keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secret. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself the Scarlet King's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take the village. It strikes me now that this secretive character...
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into... They were the ones who brought them here to begin with.
Not the academia again.
Just as I thought, but what could they want with the village?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. Regardless, our top priority now is...
You're right.
Time to go. Let's...
Yes.
You got it.
All right.
Let's meet back here. Let's get some food in us and then... Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of this matter.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do.
Really?
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you...
Huh? Right here?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Gandis said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether the Scarlet King or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you with, glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who, the reason being.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the Radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them, even though they act.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for what—
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but...
Huh? What do you mean?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her—
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some. Before, I wouldn't even have the— Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King. I don't belong to either side.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how— Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told— I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It used to be louder and more frequent. But
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, you would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar.
Yeah, let's go!
good to me.
Stabilize! I will have order!
Oz, reveal thyself!
One man's stone is another man's gem.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten. An ideal place to hide people.
Monsters! Watch out!
Oz, reveal the fire hazard!
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Fuse is lit!
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected. Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look.
Hey, I'll hate them.
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion, in contrast with an object in forced motion?
So,
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey! Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knows plenty of useful stuff already. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumero are so complicated. Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
there it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below. Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around.
This is order.
Solidify!
Fire hazard! Group the ship down!
Gather! I will have order!
Look! There's someone over there! Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest and
No. Razak was never involved in any of those things. Leaving that question aside for the moment, looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry. The symptoms are identical.
Huh? What?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh! Now that you mention it, they're
Correct. The Academia is behind all of it. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King, and look for the notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory too, but there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place?
throughout this process, one thing has changed: the scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumerian academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
I'm the academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and
Hyman's a little confused.
the look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. However, the academia, I've spent quite...
You mean you're...
All scholars extracting
Sounds like you're...
Of course. Whether it be academics or this matter...
Wait!
Not to be callous, but there is no shortage of
Probably not.
You can say that. The divine knowledge capsule...
Hyman's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in...
Though I must say, uniqueness is also an asset.
Wow.
I'm just a more like... He won't last long if we leave him here. We'll work out our next...
We're back!
You must be tired.
What's the situation?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village.
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumero, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into... But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be...
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using...
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles, so tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. Sino, don't take it to heart.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced.
There is always an opportunity for safety after...
Oh, so that's how it is! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino... Yep, that's...
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too.
You want to go too?
I want to find Grandpa.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Paimon feels like... So, where do we go from here?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll...
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay.
These are likely fragments of an academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. Let's split up and search the area.
Is this what we're
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry. Your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do.
I knew it.
Dia? Why would you? Dia!
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh? Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here.
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru Village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing could deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting the Scarlet King. Once our Lord of Old returns to this...
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that...
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring the Scarlet King back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all the...
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. With these scholars in our custody...
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the entire... If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia.
They look more like pawns of the academia to me. Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed the Scarlet King.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should...
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. But I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hunt. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be...
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with...
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to I'm not trying to pursue...
You are the scribe. What do you...
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and the same applies to the academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the academia's way of doing things?
You academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on...
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me?
We've known each other for years.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
Huh. An arm from the Flame Mane. What if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the Village Keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb...
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself? Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up.
Osmanthus.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood?
Привет, на какой такой истории ты там сидишь? Блин, нафиг я свалился, ладно, не суть. Блин, ну нифига они тут перемещаются. Фиг отличишь. По идее, вот этот.
decree!
Stabilized!
Oz revealed! Time for a light show! By royal decree! Fire hazard!
This is order!
Oz, reveal thyself! I summon thee! Ha! Time for a light show! A festive reprise!
As a dutiful maid would.
Someone needs assistance.
Ad Astra.
Thank you for
Ad Astra.